Yes, so there was this clash between Kebaso Morara and Hussein Mohammed, the government spokesman. Hii ni after Kebaso Morara ameenda huko interview kwa JKL, and he said that the president called him, offering him, I think, jobs in the government. Then Hussein Mohammed calls in and says that Morara is lying. President has not called him, and if he would have called him, Mohammed must have been aware. He's the government spokesman. Probably ni yange organize hiyo call kama venye ali organize ya majenzi ile meeting yao na kwa Samautero on X. But that's not my concern. Now my concern is to Morara himself. This goes to Morara. Morara Kebaso, if you can listen to this goes to you. Not so many days ago, I saw your interview pale kwa SpiceFM. On SpiceFM, City Muga started with a very nice parable. That parable was for you, Mr. Morara. They say that the way you interpret the parable is according to your own understanding. So I respect your interpretation for the parable, but I would need you to rethink of the parable, and I will tell you why. But first, let us listen to the parable. All of us, take notes. Bring your notebooks, all of us. Then I will show. I will tell you why it was a special parable for Morara Kebaso. And Morara Kebaso, I think you need to rethink of the parable again. Let's go to the parable quick fast.
Now the proverb: the more feathers
it is the proverb. Proverb, parable, same thing.
Chicken has.
Okay.
Now the proverb: the more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the nearer it approaches the grave.
The more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the more it approaches the grave. Listen to the parable once more from City.
Very good.
Okay.
Now the proverb: the more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the nearer it approaches the grave.
That was a parable for Morara, and this is how Morara interpreted the proverb. I keep calling it the parable, but you know, proverbs and parable ni za mama moja. So Morara interpreted the parable this. Remember, the parable is the more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the more it approaches the grave. Wacha tusikie Morara aliinterpret aje parable, and I will tell you now my thought on it. And it is a wonderful proverb because now, not so many days later, ndio tunaona hiyo clash yao huko kwa Citizen na the government spokesman. It was unnecessary. Nobody cares whether Morara was called or not. But I'll still tell you why. It is a very important proverb for Morara Kebaso.
The more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the nearer it approaches the grave.
The more the feathers a chicken has, just come back again. The more a chicken has,
the more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the nearer it approaches the grave.
Well, that would mean that the older it gets, the more feathers it has, because if it's approaching the grave, it's getting older. And if it's getting older, no. I've thought about it again. It means when the owner of the chicken is looking for the fattest to slaughter, he's going to look for the one with the one that looks bigger. And the one that looks bigger is the one that has the most amount of feathers. But in reality, those feathers are not meat. When you actually remove the feathers, you realize that the chicken is actually now very small. So you may be attracted to slaughter this chicken for your guests, but you realize that most of what you are seeing were feathers and not meat. Am I right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. The thing about this proverb is you are never wrong. That's why.
Yes, that's the best thing with the proverb. One can never be wrong kwa sababu anaiinterpret kivyake. Now I have my own interpretation of the proverb.
Tell us your interpretation.
So, for real, it's true that Morara has been a busy man. Amekuwa hapa na pale akiexpose ile project gava zenye imekuwa ikienjoy wasi, that this is what we've been doing, and they are all, nothing has been done. So first of all, not so many people walikuwa wanajua Morara until he started doing this. But now, when you started whatever you started, which is a very 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 creative way of kufanya Zakayo ashuke, very creative way, salute you doing what we all should be doing. So after you've come up with this way and you are doing something that is very creative, only then have we started noticing you, right? Only then now have you started to move from media house A to B. Only then, now that there is so much interest around you, and now everyone is inviting you for interviews. Leo uko kwa JKL, kesho uko hapa na pale, you know. Now the proverb, the city Muga's proverb of the more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the nearer it approaches the grave, goes to you. And I'll tell you why now. You see, not so long ago, you are this chicken with yenye haikuwa na these so many feathers, you know. Ndo umeanza hiyo season yako ya Vampire Diaries, umeanza kutuonesha ukiwa hapa na pale, and everyone likes what you do. And now all of a sudden umeform, kumekuwa na these, kumekuwa na interest, a lot of interest around you. Everyone wants to hear your story now. Hey, tell us, come here and tell us what inspired you to doing this. You know, when you started whatever you started, Mr. Morara, no one was there telling you how you will start it, how you of course I know there is some people you work with, you don't do this alone. It's obvious that you got some people that you work with. You are not alone in what you do. Uko na team yako yenye mnawaka, na nilisikia hata kwa hiyo interview ya Spice ukisema you want to form your people. Unataka kukuwa na watu wako wenye mtafanya na wao civic education kwa ground. That is a brilliant idea, and that's what you should be going for. But now hii kushinda kwa all these media stations mingi, this will only make you look like this chicken with many feathers. Now all these media houses, especially the mainstreams, these media houses are adding you now more feathers, adding you more feathers, and you are doing what them cannot do. They have all the resources, they have better resources than you. They are the media house, but they will never tell us this. But now, after you got the courage, the guts to go and do what you do and cover what you've been covering for us, now you are a person of interest. Now they want to come and start questioning you. What about your next project? Where are you going next? Mr. Morara, kindly, tafazali, don't be like this chicken now with many feathers, because that means you will be getting closer to your grave. And I know you need people to work with, but your people are not. Hii mainstream hakuna watu itakupea. These mainstreams that now you are starting now to get interest on going there, and they start asking you these useless questions. They will only make you to appear like now this chicken with a lot of feathers. Watu wako huko. And also I'll give you another proverb, or another parable. I like calling them parable. Ama a riddle. Let's call it a riddle. Why do you think the choir master, you've seen the choir masters, as you've seen from the choir masters, why do you think that the back of the choir masters is all the crowd see? I mean, angalia example ya choir master, a person who is a choir master, his back is always faced by the crowd, the major crowd. Wenye wanaperformiwa waonangi face hata ya choir master. They can only see the back. The choir master, his interest is in the choir, not to the crowd, but the choir. Choir master focus yake na kuanga choir. Yeye wanga ameangalia the choir, his choir members, those who when wana produce the song now. It is not his business what the crowd are saying up on the back. In fact, he shows his back to the crowd. The crowd will never see his face until the performance is. Mr. Morara, be like now this choir master. Show us your back. concentrate on the choir. Form now this choir that unasema you will come up with people who wenye mtakuwa mnafanya nao civic education kwa ground. That is those are your choir members. Focus on those people. Hizi media station mingi unashinda ukienda like hapa na pale they will only now they are adding new feathers, and now you will start now to become these chicken with many feathers. And remember, this is my interpretation of the proverb, and CT they are always right when they say that you cannot, your interpretation is yours. This is my interpretation. Mr. Morara, in case anyone is wondering hapa nje, hey, what is this man saying? This is my interpretation. These media houses, especially the mainstream, they will only be adding new feathers, more and more feathers, and now you will start appearing to be, you don't need to be this chicken with so many feathers for you to do what you've been doing, and you are already doing your thing even without the mainstream. This is not the time that you need them. You focus on your choir master, keep producing. In fact, at most you can have your channel, and now people will come. If there is anything that you have to say, you can say it on your channel. Hizi si zile siku za ati lazima ushinde kwa the mainstream anga doing this. Remember, what you are doing is what these people failed to do, is what these people will never cover for us. Watch out, Mr. Morara. Have your choir master, focus on your song. You are already in the process of creating a very wonderful song, and all you need now is a great, you just need your disciples, like Jesus when alikuwa na the 12. Those were his choir members, and Jesus was the choir master. Then the rest, let them face your back. Don't move from house A to B, exposing your next projects. Focus on your choir members. Only then will you produce. But now when a choir master starts facing the the crowd, he forgets about the choir. The song lazima itaenda mrama. Lazima hiyo song, wimbo itakuwa na shida hapa na pale, because now the choir member amebebwa na crowd. It is said that you cannot lead the choir and still face the crowd. It is impossible. If you are leading the choir, you are focusing on the choir and the song that you are producing together with your choir members. For us, the crowd, sisi kazi yetu ni kutizama tu. And after the performance, after you've brought us what you keep bringing us, the exposies that you bring us, now the crowd will say what they have. Some will support you, some will say that it was not a nice performance, and you know what? The song must keep on going on. Anyway, that is my thought on the proverb. Tutamaliza tena na hiyo proverb ya CT, that the more feathers a chicken has, the bigger it looks, and the nearer it approaches the grave.